Zoom. It usually is. So we'll see. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Yeah, I'm always trying new systems because there's all kinds of really great systems to, because I do a lot of restreaming, like I send things to different platforms. So, but hopefully this should be okay and a little more stable. And you can tell me. Melanie says, much better. Okay, great. So I'm back. Hi, great to see you again. Oh my God, it's been so long since I've seen you. How have you been? Hi, Melanie. Hi, JC. Hi, William from Costa Rica. All right. So you do not want to sound like a robot on videos. I have this amazing coaching program called Lights, Camera, Cash that my friend Melanie, who's on here tonight, is in the program too. And one of the things that I've been noticing, it's my small group coaching. It's my signature coaching program, Lights, Camera, Cash, where I really walk you through how to create powerful videos so that you can use video marketing to build your 6 or even 7-figure business. I mean, let's go for 7. And so what I see when people are really, and when I've worked with clients, obviously in the past, I see the biggest thing is this stiffness that comes on when you're making a video and you think you have to say it right and that it has to be this like professional thing because you're not used to working with no one else on the other end reflecting to you. So the practice and how you get comfortable in this is you really have to hone in on, first of all, who you're speaking to. Okay, so there's a few things that help make your videos more conversational. Is that when you're, first of all, you're clear who you're speaking to, then you're imagining that you're actually having a conversation. So the difference is when I'm just speaking, if we're in life, I'll say things like, yeah, you know what I mean, right? And you'll nod your head or you'll be like, yeah, okay. And then I'll be like, yeah, so da 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 da, right? So yeah, that's how you don't be so stiff on videos. So do you feel sometimes like you're stiff and like a robot on videos? And you'd be like, yeah, I do. So that's how we're used to doing this in life. But when we're on video, there's no one sitting there reflecting to you, right? There's no one nodding their head. There's no one being like, yeah, I get it. There's no one like talking back to you. So you have to learn how to do this yourself, okay? So what's the practice in this is to really pretend like you're speaking to another person and take the pauses like you would when you're speaking to another person. Do you see? Okay, I just modeled it for you. Okay. I said, so you speak to the other person like you're speaking to the other person. Do you see? And I kind of went, uh-huh, because usually I'd get a head nod or like, yeah, I get it. Okay. So that's what you want to do when you're creating videos and to make it more conversational. So a couple things is you might want to slow down a little bit. What I've seen people do is, Stacy, tell me what your business is again. I can't remember what your business is. What I've seen people do is kind of rush through videos and kind of because it's kind of you get kind of nervous and you're just trying to get through like you have this like I'll give you an example. I just pulled up a piece of paper. I had a Lights Camera Cash coaching call this morning. So I'm just going to write down some of the notes that I had. Okay. So talk about Instagram and Insta story and Zoom training and ideal clients and then challenges and pain points and structure. Do you see? I'm just like reading from this script and it sounds like I'm a robot and it does not have any of the Aryan personality in there. So that's a don't. You do not want to do that. You want to make sure you are conversational, like there is a person on the other end, that you are having a two-way conversation because that's how you're going to help your end user feel like you're speaking directly to him or her. Okay. Now, there's lots of ways that I coach on how to do this in my Lights Camera Cash program to help you really hone in and build that relationship with people. But the more conversational you can make it. So let's talk about what conversation is, how that works and how that shows up on video. So like I said, you might want to slow down a little bit instead of like rushing through the things that you got to say and you got to say it, blah, 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 blah. Because again, if someone's across from you, you're not going to be just rushing through things with no response, no input from the other person. So when you're creating videos, it's good to kind of ebb and flow, okay? Ebb and flow, ebb and flow, ebb and flow, okay? So that you basically you can use your tempo. You can be faster at times when you need to speak a little faster to like make a point or bring the energy up and take a little faster. And then what's really effective is to then go, yeah, so does that resonate? And you slow it way down. You ask a question and then if it's a really important point, you go, yeah, so this you gotta hear. because right, see, we kind of lean in, we're like, ooh, what do we have to hear? So when you slow down, you can make things more important. So you can use tempo in different ways to make things conversational, because that's what you do in life. Okay. And you just pretend like you're talking to this ideal client. You might need to warm it up even more. You might need to put your best friend in there, or like someone that really makes you laugh, so that that warms you up to camera. But just start practicing speaking as if there's another person there. So you're taking those pauses. So you're waiting for that response. And that's when you can ask questions as well. You can ask questions to your audience, whether it's a video that you're creating and then you're going to post what I call a static video, a pre-made video, whether you're doing that or lives. If you're doing pre-made video, it's the same things. You can make your point again, like, so whatever, I'm going to make this up, like Insta story. So an Insta story, it's really important to tell a story. You don't just want to do one-offs on Insta story. It's nice to have a little arc to your story. So does that make sense? Because we're always storytelling, that you want to make an arc in your story on an Insta story. So do you see, I'm still acting as if there's somebody there, and I'm asking you a question, because your mind wants to answer a question. We can't ignore questions. We want to answer questions. So whether I'm doing a pre-made video or live, I like lives because I can actually get the interaction with you here. Hi, Trinity. We can get the interaction, which I think is great. But if you're doing a pre-made video, it's the same techniques. You act as if the person is there if you're actually having a conversation, and then the person on the other end feels like you're actually having a conversation with them. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to slow down, and I'm going to look at some comments. Stacy says, I don't feel like a robot. Awesome. But I teach on camera for a living. Great. Part interactive, part recorded since quarantine. Yes, there's an art to this, and extroverts do much better at this than introverts. Yes, and that's why I coach on this so much, is because I have clients. I mean, this girl, oh my God, my client Laura, she's like the biggest introvert. She's so cute. She was so shy and so like, oh my God, I can't go on camera. And I coached her through my Lights Camera Cash course. And now that girl does a live every week consistently for like 2 years. She loves video. She's like, I don't know how I'm so confident to do this. So even when you're an introvert, you can learn techniques to bring yourself forward and to really enjoy the process. That's what I think is great about video, because people think, oh, it's just easy for you because you're an extrovert. And I say, no, because I had to teach this all to myself. I didn't know how to do any of this. I didn't know how to be conversational on camera. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to teach you this thing today, and then we're going to talk about it. And then how boring is that? No one wants to watch that. Stacy says she teaches French and Spanish to rural Kansas. Hey, Kansas girls, give me a holler for Kansas. And English to China. Awesome. Red lipstick and good eye drops are the key. Yes. Well, that's just the keys to life, isn't it? Good red lipstick and good eye drops. Melanie says, I love Lights Camera Cash. She's rocking it. So much fun. Trinity says, I don't feel like a robot, but I do sometimes feel like I'm talking to myself. Yes. Well, you are. But that's where you get to really imagine this conversation. So it's fun when you actually, I've got a little bot on here. I don't really know how to take these people off. Block user. There we go. We do not want inappropriate comments on the thread. Hi, Ashley. You're so pretty. Thank you. Well, let me tell you, I've got really good lighting. I've got a filter on my Zoom. I've got makeup on, I do my things. But as I always talk about, natural light is the best light. So, but I'm in this weird room that has like so much light, it blows me out. So I have to use different lights. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation about lighting. But tonight it's all about how to be conversational to the camera. So Trinity says, sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself. I know. And it's kind of this weird thing that you just have to move through of feeling like you're talking to yourself, because you are and you're not. Okay. So 2 things I want you to think about is, you're always imagining that there's someone on the other side of that camera that you're actually speaking to who's answering you. And that's where you want to take the pauses, right? That's where you want to ask the questions. That's where you want to actually wait for an answer, right? Wait for a minute. So you can ask a question of like, look at my notes again. Like, so how confident on a scale of 1 to 10 do you feel when you turn on the camera? Just pop that out in the comments, because even if you're doing a pre-made video, you still want to get engagement, right? You're still doing it for Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever you're doing it. So you still want engagement. So you still want to ask those questions um, while you're doing it. Now, if it's a different kind of program, maybe you're not. Like if it's an actual just how-tos, that's different. But most of what I'm coaching you on is how to use social media to build your business and build engagement and build relationships with people. So you want to ask a lot of questions, because our mind can't ignore questions. We have to answer them. And so then you can just say, like, pop in the comments. And sometimes people do and sometimes they don't, and it's fine. But you're just imagining you're having this conversation and that somebody's answering. Because the more that you can imagine someone's actually nodding their head or like answering, oh yeah, oh, that's interesting, oh, I never thought of it that way, then you'll start being more conversational in your responses, because that's what you want. You want to be conversational in your responses. So for instance, if you're doing let's say you're doing a video about a challenge that your client is having. Okay. And then you go, yeah, so one question I always get is, I'm going to look at my notes and make something up. Oh, we talked about structure today. One question I always get from clients is, I feel like I get lost on camera. I feel like I get lost in my videos and I don't know what I'm saying. Is that normal? So if I'm saying that on camera, right, then I'm going to be like, do you ever feel that way? Do you ever feel like you kind of get lost when you're talking in your words and you're like, did I say that already? And then, right, I'm asking you. And so then you're going to think about it and then you can pop it in the comments, right? And then my response will be like, yeah, I get it. I hear that all the time, that you get lost. It's hard to remember when you're on camera and you're by yourself and you're thinking about all these, things to do. I get it. So here's what I would support you and encourage you to do. Do you see? So you want to actually um, ask a question in a conversation and answer it as if you're in a conversation. Okay. Let me pause for a minute. Trinity says, I feel 100% confident and I'm now comfortable on camera. Go Trinity, go Trinity. Trinity's rocking it. Trinity's my friend from the East Coast. Which state are you from? I can't remember. A very small state. And she's darling. And she has been working so hard to get comfortable on videos. And I'm so proud of you that you feel so confident on video. Melanie says, so true. I don't know which one you're referring to, but I love it. So true. Stacy says, once you drop the ego at the door and play, the better it gets. Exactly. This is one thing that, hey, Cam, hello in Phase 1, Iowa. Go Phase 1, Iowa. Hi, Leighton Strong. Kansas, go Kansas. Do you have a plan on paper to help with the flow of the live presentation? I do. It's one thing. That's what my friend Melanie, that's on here tonight, she's in my Lights Camera Cash course, and that's what we talked about today was how to structure your videos. I have a very clear structure that I go through, that I teach my students of how to do, because there's a lot of different ways to do your structure. But it's really what's going to help you. I mean, I'm always like, have your bullet points. If you need to have stuff written down on a sticky note and have it in front of you, great. On your phone or wherever you're doing it, great. It doesn't matter, because we all use notes. I mean, like, you don't have to pretend like you have everything memorized. I think that's another fallacy, is thinking we have to like look perfect on camera. But I will tell you that the trend right now is really like laid back videos, is really just, walking around off the cuff. I mean, that's definitely the trend in online marketing right now, but it's, everyone's business is different. So everyone's creating a different, product for your business. But basically, whatever kind of structure you want that you're comfortable with, I'm like, use it. I have a very specific way that I teach my students so that you don't get lost in what you're doing, so that you stay, you have a very clear structure of how to open it and close it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, and Stacy says, once you drop the ego at the door and play, the better it gets. Exactly. Because the thing is, what I hear from clients so much, and I've gone through myself and still go through, is like, ugh, like, I gotta look good when I get on camera. I gotta put on makeup, or like, what am I gonna say? And I get that. I think we all go through that. But what I'm always coaching my clients on is that you have to get bigger than your ego. You have to, your way of being service has to be, your message has to be bigger than the fear, basically. Because whatever you're here to do to serve people, however you're serving them, that's so powerful, that has to get bigger than how afraid I am of how I'm going to look or sound on camera. Because if I'm afraid of how I'm going to look and sound on camera, I'm not going to get on camera, and then I'm not going to be able to help you. And that's a disservice. I mean, hello, that's a disservice. I need to be here helping you, right? Just joking. Anyway. All right. So yeah, you just have to get bigger than your fears. And it's easier said than done, trust me. But it just comes with practice, because every student I have has resistance and fears and doubts about what they're going to look like on camera. What are people going to think of me? What if I mess up? I'm like, you are like, you're probably going to mess up and you're going to say things and you're going to be stiff and whatever. But like, that's the whole point, is we just have to practice and get better at it. Leave the ego at the door. Okay, cool. Cam says video chat, Google Meet, now through Google Mail. Yeah, there's so many different ways to connect now. I mean, and Facebook now has messenger rooms and all that. Stacey says, I have short, medium, and long format for my side gigs. Great. So she's got different ways that she structures her things. If there's something big to introduce, I make it count. Yep. And I also think people appreciate the casual pop on to remind them of something or to show them something quickly. Yeah, that's what's great about using video marketing in all different ways, is there's so many options now. There's lives, there's there's Insta stories, there's Instagram TV. I mean, there's 8,000 ways you can reach your ideal clients, which is super fun. So you could do things, if you do an interview with someone, if you're using, call it Facebook Live or Instagram Live, to do an interview with someone, that can be a little longer. If you're using Insta Story, obviously that's really short. So my biggest thing is choose your platform, right? Don't try to do all the platforms, because you'll make yourself insane. But choose a platform, stick with it, and you'll get better at it for sure. So back to what we started with was how to be conversational on camera and really have fun. And again, this just takes practice, because it's a skill set. It's not like you're born with the skill set of how to be conversational on camera. And what I did when I was learning how to do it is I would just watch people, and I would say, oh, they're totally laid back and they're just having a conversation versus selling me something, because nobody wants to be sold anything, right? Like, I'm like, ugh, that you can smell it a mile away. So I might be selling you something right now, right? Like, I'm selling you that I'm an expert at this. And if you want more support, like, I can give it to you, right? So we're all selling something at all the time, but I'm not obviously overtly selling. This isn't like a sales call. This is a value add content conversation. But the more conversational you make it, the more the other person can relax and take in the information and feel like they're not being sold. And then that's how you build the know, like, and trust factor. Right? That's what we all want to do, is build a know, like, and trust factor. Okay. Stacy says, that's my teacher brain. Good job. Bear in mind, the average attention span is 1 minute for 1 year of life. So sad, isn't it? Our attention spans are like this for sure. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up with any last questions you have about how to make your videos be more conversational. I want you to think of this in any copy that you write as well. Again, nobody likes to be sold or talked at. We like to be in conversation with people. So you just want to slow things down and imagine there's someone they're responding. Just imagine someone's like, oh yeah, or like, I'm not sure about that, or like, let me think. So just imagine someone's responding, and you can use your tempo to go quicker when you need to just bring a little more energy in and get things a little more quicker going. But you don't want to be this the whole time. You don't want to be just racing through the video, because that's not what we do in life. And it kind of feels a little anxious. But when I can slow down and take some pauses and check in and be like, does that make sense to you? And ask you questions, then you feel like we're actually having a conversation, and that's what you want, right? All right. So what I have for you that's awesome is I just started a really, really cool Facebook group I'm so excited about. It's called Play a Bigger Game, for coaches, consultants, experts, authors, speakers, network marketing people, real estate agents. It's so fun. And I started it because I wanted a place where we could all play a bigger game, because it's hard in Facebook and Instagram, because unless you have a group, it's like it's all like spread out, and there's no community. So I have so many thousands of people from all over the world that I connect with. So I created a Facebook group called Play a Bigger Game, because one thing I always hear from people who come to work with me is, I want to stop playing small and I want to play a bigger game. So I'm like, yeah, baby, let's play a bigger game. So you can just Google, not Google, but put in the Play a Bigger Game in the search bar on Facebook, and it should pop up my group. It's called Play a Bigger Game Inner Circle, and you can request to join, and I'll accept you right away. But that's where I'm going to be doing most of my lives, and that's where you get more attention from me, because it's a community that I'm building with all these awesome people I know from around the world. So come play with me at Play a Bigger Game Inner Circle. All right, I'm out. It's time for dinner. I love you. I'll see you next time. Ciao.